Okay, so before we proceed, I just want to say...
Oh, I've missed this.
Okay, good. So now that we have that out of the way, let's hit that intro song. So Living in Bondage, Breaking Free is a drama thriller movie. It's the sequel to the 1992 movie Living in Bondage. For those that remember, it centers around a man. It's centered around a man called Nnamdi Okeke, who joins this secret cult, sacrifices his wife to get money and riches, and that movie tells the story of how he starts to deal with all the craziness that followed that event. Now, in Living in Bondage, Breaking Free, it tells the story about a young man called Nnamdi Okeke, who is having a lot of difficulties breaking into this the advertisement industry. Now, he meets people who introduce him to a lot of people who, of course, promise him riches and all of that. And just like the original, he now has to sacrifice someone if he wants to be fully accepted into their secret cult. And that's basically our story. Now, first things first, I just want to give Ramsey Nouah kudos, big props. He is the director of this movie, and this is his directorial debut. And to be honest, it doesn't show. This movie is helmed very, very well. The art of making a movie, you wouldn't know that this is a movie directed by a first-timer, you know, and it asks the question that why Baba never do film in a while, you know, because it feels really seamless. In terms of equipment, location, cinematography, it is really, really nice. So big ups to Ramsey. The guy who plays the lead role, Swanky JKA, if that's his real name, I have to say was really dope in this movie. I would love to say he's the one that carries this movie, but that would be exaggerating it. But he was really, really good. You feel for this guy. You feel for the things that he goes through right before he joins this cult, without spoiling anything, what we're saying in the trailers. And you really like the way they wrote his character, at least for the first half of the movie. The secondary characters in this movie, most of them do well. Yeah, for me, the standouts for me have to be Ramsey Nouah and Sean Fakwa. These guys are really cool in this movie. And despite the fact that these guys are not Igbo, they were speaking in Igbo. Yes, it didn't have 100% fluency, and that's not the reason why I say they stood out. But they were really cool. You love the way they were doing that thing. Sean Fakwa, I've always said, is a great actor. Ramsey was really good, except for all the Darth Vader choking that he was doing in the movie. Some people might like it, but I just felt like it was a bit too much for me. Yeah, but despite that, it was really, really good. This movie is entertaining in parts, but we'll get to that. This movie is entertaining, I have to say, and there are moments in this movie where I was really, really entertained. I was really having fun watching this movie. Now, I haven't been doing movies in a while, yeah, in case anybody noticed. But the reason being that I feel like 2019 has really been a tough year for Nollywood, you know, and you don't want to be that guy who's always coming out say this movie was trash, this movie did not try, they could have done better. But for me, watching Living in Bondage, Breaking Free, I just feel like the potential that could have been gotten from this movie wasn't 100% attained. Now bear with me. First of all, I just feel like the pacing of this movie was a bit off. Yeah, and you can blame that in part to the first act of this movie, because the first act of this movie is really good. The pacing of the first act was really good. Like I said, you feel for Nnamdi Okeke. There is some controversy about his lineage. They really do well to set up this guy's character and some of the secondary characters around him, which was very nice. But once the second act just kicked in, for some reason it just felt like a different movie. You know, it just felt like you just went from this thriller, whatever, okay, not horror, it's definitely not a horror movie, but this drama thriller movie, it now goes into some kind of drama love kind of story, especially when they are trying to put more meat on his love story and all of that, you know, and I felt it was a bit off for me. Now, sorry, from this point on, I just want to warn everybody, there might things that I might say here that might be sort of like mini spoilers. For some, they might think not, for some, they might. But if you are into that sort of thing, please watch on. Now, the second thing I felt was a bit off for me in this movie were some of the characters. Yeah, there were some of them that I felt like really didn't have any purpose in the movie. And I'm sorry. our actors are really good. For me, Nollywood actors are really good, but I just feel like the writing that has to do with some of these characters are a bit off. Some of them that come to mind, the character of Bob Manuel. Yeah, you want to feel like, okay, nostalgia, he connects the old movie to this one, but he didn't really do much for the movie. Nancy Isime as well. I need to ask somebody, is she an A-list, B-list, or C-list actress? I don't know, because there's a difference between a cameo performance and a small role. And the role she plays in this movie is very, very small. It's a very small role that you just feel like if these people were not in this movie would have gone on fine. Even the blogger in the movie, yeah, you appreciate the concept that they were trying to do with his role, with his character. You get to find out the motivation behind what he was doing later on in the movie. But in the end, you just feel like everything, all the investigation that he was doing and all of that, at the end, the way things are revealed or not revealed, he had nothing to do with it. He had nothing. It could have gone in another way. I'm trying to be as vague as possible, and I just feel like with these characters that I've spoken, there were one or two other characters that really didn't need to be there in the first place. But you just feel like if they had, with all the runtime that they were giving these characters, if they had used it to put more meat on the story that they were trying to tell, I felt it would have given us more to savor in this movie. But what kind of like ticked me off the most about this movie is the dilemma in question. What was it? What were the things that prompted Nnamdi Okeke, you know, to get to the dark side, if you want to put it that way, you know, to join this cult? You know, I just felt like, if you compare it to the first movie, I'm sorry for those that don't like that. If you compare it to the first movie, you see that Andy Okeke, you can see he's at rock bottom, and he feels like he has no choice but to join this cult, and it's after he joins the cult that he's now asked to bring merit. I'm sorry for those that have not seen the movie, but in this movie, you feel like Nnamdi Okeke has gotten basically everything he wants. He's driving fast cars, he has women, house, his business is thriving, and all of a sudden he's now asked to join this society. You know, I just felt like the moment the proposal is done, I'm trying to be vague. The moment the proposal is made to him, I just feel like the movie starts to lose its way. And that's why I was talking about the second act in this movie. The movie just slightly starts to lose its way. You feel like you're watching a different movie. You know, like I said, when you compare it to the first movie, the characters that are in this movie, the situations that the characters found themselves, you kind of can relate to it. You can be like, yes, that can be my neighbor, that can be my church person, that can be someone at work, that could be me, you know. But in this movie, not so much, you know. And it just went on that way. Even the climax of the movie, it just gets as it be somehow. It's not as if it was bad, like I said, but either way, the movie is entertaining. It has some very exciting set pieces. Like there's a scene that goes on between Ramsey and Kenneth Okonkwo's character. But in the end, like I said, the potential wasn't really attained 100%. And for me, Living in Bondage, Breaking Free will get a 3.5. Yeah, in a nutshell, this movie feels like, remember that song We Are the World, you know, that USA for Africa that came out in 1985. You know, I just, you know, there was a remake that happened in, it was 2010 or 2011, you know, Song for Haiti. You know, when you look at that song, the remake, despite all the song's good intentions and all that, when you talk about We Are the World, everybody keeps talking about the first one, the 1985 version, the original version. Not because it was the original, but it just felt better than the first one. That's the way it is with Living in Bondage. Whenever you talk Living in Bondage, I think the legacy of Living in Bondage will always start with that first one. That first one will always be the gold standard of Living in Bondage kind of movies. Despite this second one's effort, the entertainment value it gave, that's just how I saw it in my view. But for you that have seen it, what did you think about it? What are your thoughts? Please comment below, let us know. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and please do something good for a neighbor. Peace.